Hey, it's Johnny from Ravaged by Ghouls. This is part 2 of the logo design video. So we're just putting the finishing touches on our primary letters at this point. And then we're going to start working on those lowercase letters, which we'll be changing very shortly. Setting up our guidelines. Getting the big letters in place. This is the point where the logo finally starts to take form and you kind of see what the end result might look like. After we have our proper spacing with the letters for the 3 lines, we're replacing that dripping font with something a little sharper to match the lettering that we already created. But we won't be using that in the end. One of those trial and error things. So I really enjoy the creative process when I'm involved in these. I like to try a lot of different ideas while I'm in there. Obviously, a lot of them don't work in the end, but I find being open and exploring your options at this stage ends up giving you the best results. Now these letters didn't turn out too bad. Didn't work on them fully. I'm just not too happy with the impression that it gave. It kind of looked a little more old school. I was going for more of a cleaner, classic logo design for this. But at this point, we ended up designing a few tree branches to go with the flow of the piece, these small letters we were making. And at that point I realized how much I really just didn't like the small letters, so we just ended up scrapping those and starting over with something else. It just felt a little bit too busy, a little too much motion in the small letters compared to the big ones. Just didn't feel good. A lot of cleanup. Just making some adjustments to the letters. Making the lines a little bit sharper, taking away a little bit of that curviness to see if we can still work with it. And here come the branches. For me, this was a deciding point in the piece. When I added those on there, it just started to come together and get the feel that I was really looking for. Obviously, the small letters didn't fit, so we'll be getting rid of those in a moment. And for the branches, we didn't make each one individually. I just made a main branch and cut and paste that, but added those and make the small adjustments to make them all a little bit different. It saves a lot of time. Back to the white screen, we got rid of those small letters, and what we ended up using was this simpler black letter style that we had initially. I originally didn't like it because it didn't really have much mood to it, but after adding so much to the bigger letters, it made sense to do something a little bit more simplistic. It also helps to open up some space in the piece and gives it a little more added thickness for the matching. Now I know black letter is a little bit overused in metal logos, but there's a good reason for that. It always looks good for the most part. If I go with black letter, I just try to add a lot of creative touches and just make it different, stand out a little bit more, personalize it. Now this is the final part of the creative process. Basically, we're just doing a little bit more cleaning up, adding those little extra pieces in there. I had a lot of ideas for imagery in the logo. The church tower was just something that worked right away. The reference photo was great. I removed all the saturation from it, making it black and white. Used the curves tool to brighten the whites and darken the blacks. Posturized it and then cleaned it up a little bit and kind of painted on my own designs. Made it a little bit more simpler for print. Just kind of working on the sides of the church. I didn't want just one big steeple in the middle. So just trying to figure out at this point how wide that can be and how we can kind of fit it around the O. Make it prominent but flow with the piece at the same time. Now the small steeples are just the large steeple, just like the branches, but just edited to be a little bit smaller and kind of customize it. Add a few drips in here. Helps to fill up some space, solidify the logo, and make the lines kind of blend together a little bit more. I like the subtle touch of just a little bit of drips, just to get the mood right. I know that some logos are just all drips, and that does look cool. For this one, just kept it simple. I think I'm just changing the spacing of the small towers so they fit the logo a little bit better. They were a little too wide. Once they fit the logo a little bit better here, they'll help to accent that triangle shape of the piece. Also threw a couple branches on the sides to give a nice flow to the top of the piece. Have that nice swooping arch that goes from the sides to the middle. And here's the final product. Thanks for checking out the videos. Much appreciated.